From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, April 12th, 2021. We'll start with a look at the infrared satellite picture across North America here on Monday morning. We've got kind of an elongated area of low pressure here, and on the backside, we've had some widespread snowfall across portions of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and then even portions of North Dakota and Minnesota as you head down across the U.S. and Canada border. You can see that here. We take a look at the radar picture. Again, this is around 9 o'clock Central on Monday morning, so if you're watching this video a little bit later, you might take a fresh look at the radar picture. But from Regina to Winnipeg and then on east from there, we've got snow falling across the prairie. You can head on down south into portions of Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota and find scattered snowfall as well here on Monday morning. And as we take a look at the NAM model, the precipitation forecast, we'll see this is going to linger really into the day on Tuesday, maybe even Tuesday night, Wednesday across the region. Let's look a little slower here. This is through the day today. And again, you see that snow continuing across at least southeast Saskatchewan into much of central and southern Manitoba into this evening. This is now heading into the overnight. This would be midnight tonight. And now we're into sunrise on Tuesday morning. Snow continues across the same region. Here we are midday Tuesday. This is now Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Snow may be becoming a little bit more scattered, but still persisting across the very same regions here. Again, southeast Saskatchewan, central and southern Manitoba, and then on south across the border into Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota. Here's now midnight on Wednesday morning and then sunrise Wednesday morning, starting to taper off. Still maybe some light snow, some flurries across, again, same region, southeast Saskatchewan on into central and southern Manitoba. And then as we head later into the day on Wednesday, snow begins to break up a little bit more, likely coming to an end by the end of the day on Wednesday, but clouds persist across the region into Thursday and Friday, likely to be cloudy across much of the prairie into the end of the week. As we look at winds, we're looking at wind gusts through 7 p.m. on Tuesday. They will be gusty at times, anywhere from 30 to 40 miles per hour. I think the strongest wind gust is going to be a little bit south of the Canada-U.S. border, across portions of the Dakotas and the high plains of the U.S. That's where winds could gust anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour over the next 36 hours. Now, total snowfall, it's going to begin to stack up, or continue to stack up, I should say, again, across southeast Saskatchewan, central and southern Manitoba. That's what we're talking about, maybe 20 to 30 centimeters of snowfall over the next 36 hours. On the high side, it will be scattered, localized high amounts there. But when we compare the NAM on the left, the European model on the right, basically identical picture here as far as the area to pick up the heaviest snowfall and our highest amounts, which again, on the high side, 20 to 30 centimeters. I think more broadly speaking, probably 10 to 20 centimeters across this region. And again, we're talking about southeast Saskatchewan, central and southern Manitoba. As we look out towards the entire next week, that's about it. So this is total snowfall now from the European model through Sunday, April 18th. And you don't see much change here as you look at what we're expecting over the next, 48 hours versus the entire week. And that's because we will transition back toward a quieter pattern heading through the rest of the week and then likely into week 2 as well. So here's the jet stream right now, just a snapshot. Monday morning, here's the area of low pressure off to the south, that upper level low. You see the very elongated flow coming in around that trough up and over a ridge across the west coast, the Pacific and British Columbia. So flow coming around that. That's where we've got the snowfall on the back side here on the northwest side of this upper level low. On the south side of that, we've seen rounds of showers and thunderstorms across the central and southern United States. Now, as we head into the rest of the week, we get beyond the next 48 hours where this storm system is sitting over Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We're talking about a transition to a quieter pattern as we look upstream, kind of with the North America's border with the Pacific Ocean. You see this high over low pattern where we've got a ridge across British Columbia, a trough across the western U.S. So upper level flow does something like this, and that is the recipe for a dry pattern, not just in the prairie, but across the central United States there. It's just, we're going to be dealing with a little bit of persistent cool air over the next week, but then also looking at drier conditions on the backside of the current storm located over this region. So we'll look at that with the precipitation forecast from the European model across all of North America. We're focusing on the Canadian Prairie provinces here, and then there's where the snowfall is across the southeast Saskatchewan, central and southern Manitoba, on into portions of the northern plains and the upper Midwest of the United States. Now we'll put this into motion. We'll bring it back here to Monday morning. We watch the snow persist into the overnight. This is now Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening. Getting into Tuesday night and now Wednesday morning, you see that snow tapering off across the region. Still some flurries lingering into the day on Wednesday, but the accumulating snow should really be tapering off by the time we get into Wednesday. So Wednesday, transitioning quieter. We'll finally start to maybe get the clouds out of here by the end of the week and get a little bit of sunshine, but probably going to be dealing with pesky cloud cover through the end of the week. Maybe even a little bit of a light snow, maybe light flurries here persisting into Thursday and Friday, but really should be shutting things down as we get into the mid and late part of the week as far as heavy precipitation goes. We'll take this a little bit further now. We're getting into Friday. This is now Saturday, and then getting into Sunday. This is about where the reliably dry part of the forecast, I think, begins to get a little bit fuzzy. I think we'll start to entertain the idea that we could start to see some persistent, or I'm sorry, to at least see some light precipitation beginning to work its way in here as we get into the weekend, maybe early next week, potentially along with another shot of some colder air. But again, start to lose some confidence as we get out here into the the Sunday, Monday, April 18th, April 19th timeframe. But we'll look at this once again. Snow over the region, southeast Saskatchewan, central and southern Manitoba over the next 48 hours. That tapers off Wednesday, and then we shut things down here for the most part Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then maybe getting some precipitation back here as we get into Sunday and Monday. Side by side, European on the left, GFS on the right, next 7 days precipitation. Both of them agree. We focus a lot of that in here over the next 24 to 48 hours, looking dry over the remainder of the week. Nothing upstream here as we go through Wednesday through Saturday. We'll take a look at the jet stream pattern over the next 6 days. We're going into week 2. I apologize. Side by side, European on the left, GFS on the right. So this is April 18th through the 25th. We see a pattern, a good agreement here with the trough, south of the Aleutian Islands here, a ridge. As we get into British Columbia, and then another trough here across eastern Canada into the Great Lakes. We see the same picture reflected with the GFS and the European ensemble. When we see a picture like this, we get convergence in this region, upper level convergence from the Prairie into the Corn Belt of the United States. That is a dry pattern. It's a pattern that also may end up sending shots of cooler air into the region as we head into the week 2 time frame. So as we look at precipitation in week 2, European on the left, GFS on the right. That's where you see the same thing, that drier picture being painted from the Prairie into the Corn Belt. The European maybe trying to entertain bringing back some precipitation as we get to the back half of this forecast period. So maybe April 22nd through the 25th. Perhaps Alberta, you start getting some life here as far as precipitation goes. But by and large, as we look at week 2, April 18th through the 25th, things going to be likely drier than average across much of the Prairie provinces and cooler than average. Again, here are your temperature anomalies for week 2. Looking at the same thing here, this is week 1 on the left and then week 2 on the right. Sorry about that. But then you see the very cool temperature anomalies here over week 1, especially where we're going to be having some snow on the ground in southeast Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. And that is likely some of the reason for the colder bias here as we head into week 2. But again, with the jet stream pattern, with a ridge in the west, troughing in the east, that is going to leave us vulnerable to shots of cold air even as we head into the week 2 time frame. So unfortunately, no quick transition back to just unimpeded warmth across the region. Although, maybe flirting with that here in Calgary, in Alberta, Calgary first. We'll look at your temperatures here. You see we do warm up as we head into the weekend, but then kind of leveling off as we head into week 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see those temperatures adjust a little cooler into week 2 as well as we head through this week. We'll look at things in Edmonton, same thing. Pretty big warm up here over the next 5 days, leveling off as we head into next week. Similar look here in Regina. We are warming up as we head into week 2. Of course, it's quite colder as we get the week started with a very wintry vibe. Snow falling across the region. Saskatoon, here's your next 10 days. And then we'll finish with a look at the next 10 days in Winnipeg. Certainly warming up as we head into week 2, but just trust issues when I see the unimpeded warm up here. I think that we will be looking at the possibility of some shots of cooler air lingering into week 2. So that's what we've got. Really active next 48 hours, transitioning to a bit of a quieter end to the week. Still dealing with some shots of cool air as we head into week 2, and potentially transitioning to a pattern that maybe offers up more in the way of precipitation towards the back half of the month of April. Have a wonderful Monday.